before, not before actually, I want to go for our last presentation of this session, and the last virtual experience of this edition will be a little different, with an interview of Ignacio Ocampo with the founder of Costa Rica Sun Tours, John Espinal. Ignacio and John, welcome on board.
Thank you very much, Marcelo. Can you see my presentation right now there?
Yes, we do.
Fantastic. So, hola from Costa Rica. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your time. My name is Ignacio. I am the commercial director for Costa Rica Sun Tours. Today, I will be doing a small interview to John Espinal. He's one of the pioneers in tourism in Costa Rica and the CEO of Costa Rica Sun Tours. He, along with his family, were ahead of their time and created several eco lodges and a tour operator specialized in tailor-made itineraries with special emphasis on nature and ecotourism. Today, we are going to get a backstage story about John and his companies from the beginning until now. Hello, John. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Ignacio. Thanks. And saludos to all the fellow remoters. Thanks again to Remote and the staff at Remote and all the people that are attending.
Right. We invite you to grab your favorite Costa Rican coffee, relax, and enjoy this interview. So my first question is, when and how did you start in the travel industry? How did Costa Rica Sun Tours begin?
Thanks. So yeah, we thought rather than focusing on Costa Rica as a product, we'd focus a little bit on the background of Costa Rica Sun Tours and how I got involved in travel. It's been many years. I think I'm probably been in the industry for longer than the age of some of the participants of the remoters. So sometimes the white hair puts me in contacts, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that it's smart or being successful. Maybe I'm just stupid to be continuing on in this activity. But I think basically, when the pandemic hit, it was a big decision to make, and we decided to continue on. I think Costa Rica as a destination is a great destination. I think the success that Costa Rica Sun Tours and the businesses that I've been involved with down here are basically due to several factors. One is that we've always been 100% reliable. So when we commit to providing a service, we provide the service. So when your clients are here in the country, you can be assured that the services that we've agreed to provide are going to be provided. And so I think that's one of the big aspects. The other important aspect about Costa Rica Sun Tours is the empowerment of our employees. I think basically being able to delegate to Ignacio and to the rest of the staff at Sun Tours, many of them have been with me for more than 25 years, but you basically have to empower people to take action. The initial Costa Rica Sun Tours started, or my business started in Canada. And the previous lodge had a picture of the fishing lodge that I ran in Northern Ontario. That was when I was 28 years old. And the name of the camp was Tenuk. Tenuk is basically a name that we came up with. The TI is for Tico, which is the nickname for a Costa Rican. And the Nuk is for Canuck, which is the nickname for a Canadian. So basically, innocently, I thought I could run Tenuk Lodge in the summer in Canada. It was a short season, 10 weeks. Basically July and August and half of September. And then I got a job with Sobic International. Sobic had an office in Toronto. And basically I thought I could run tours in the wintertime, December to April in Costa Rica. Pretty soon I realized that it was not possible to do both. So from Costa Rica, from Tenuk Lodge, which I ran for 2 summers, we were able to sell it. And then basically I moved to Costa Rica with my 2-year-old son and my wife. Basically, Costa Rica Sun Tour started like 33 years ago in 1988. We're based in San Jose. And as Ignacio
sorry,
was
John.
mentioning,
Somebody made a question. If the picture on the lodge, if it was you.
No, no.
No, that's not you. Okay.
No, that was one of our cooks that was preparing a fish fry on the shore.
Okay.
So Costa Rica Sun Tours, right from the beginning, from 1988, at first I thought I was going to start a fishing camp because I came from a fishing background, having run the fishing camp in Canada. But then Costa Rican regulations were such that you actually had to get a tour license and you had to be approved by the ICT, and they would not approve just a fishing tour operator. So basically I said, well, why not do nature-based tourism? So that's kind of like the origins of Sun Tours is coming down. I had done a little bit of research. There are already a couple of companies like Costa Rica Expeditions and Horizontes that had started a couple of years before us. But basically what I decided to do was to create new product. And I think creating that new product is kind of like being in the DNA of Sun Tours, is to offer, constantly be looking for new opportunities, new programs. So we're not in direct competition with the other tour operators in Costa Rica. So basically Costa Rica Sun Tours started with, my family was in farming, they're in coffee farms or exotic tropical fruit farms. So basically we decided to develop a couple of nature lodges. Right at the beginning, I was fortunate that I met up with Rainforest Alliance. They were just starting off here in Costa Rica for certification. And there's a couple of people that I met in Rainforest Alliance, and we started developing sort of guidelines for responsible travel, which is kind of like, even before the term ecotourism was used, was a responsible travel. So we set up these guidelines, and basically we've abided by those guidelines throughout the years. And basically these guidelines turned into what some of the guidelines are in ecotourism. And that sort of led to the philosophy and the mission of our company. And basically the philosophy and mission are basically, to provide unique experiences to our travelers, to bring, to have people experience the pura vida, which I think many of you have learned about. Again, working with local communities, bringing benefits to the communities that we visited, making sure that clients, that the expectations that clients had when they came to Costa Rica were exceeded, and they went back with a greater understanding of nature and education. So right from the get-go, back in 1988, these were things that we were thinking about, and are things that basically guide us in our day-to-day, with the way we conduct our business here. As I was mentioning, part of what Sun Tours had to do, because Horizontes and Costa Rica Expeditions were already kind of ahead of us, and they were already capturing the nature-based tourism, is that I decided to approach my grandfather, who had a property, a 300-hectare property in Arenal, which was a reforestation project and macadamia project. My aunt had contacted the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, and basically they were using the facilities that the Observatory Lodge, it was just a camp, to be able to come and monitor the volcano 3 times a year. So basically I decided to open up the Arenal Observatory Lodge. Initially it was 5 rooms, today we're 50 rooms. Unlike other tour operators, the lodges work independently to Costa Rica Sun Tours. But basically Arenal Observatory allowed us to offer a new product, which was an overnight trip to Arenal, and then we combined that overnight trip with Arenal and Monteverde. The other property, which was down in the southern Pacific coast of Costa Rica, was the property that belonged to my brother Peter. He had traveled around the world and collected tropical exotic fruits from all different parts of the world, and basically had them at his farm. When people started approaching Peter to come down to Tisquita, he was more into farming and growing his fruits. You'd have to contact Mike at the bar in Golfito to make arrangements to go into Tisquita. So that's where Sun Tours basically said, hey, let's make it easy for people to get to Tisquita. And so Costa Rica Sun Tours basically incorporated Tisquita as part of their programs. So these were 2 lodges that started basically alongside Costa Rica Sun Tours. Over the years, though, or the last 2 years, we haven't stayed inactive. You know, we took opportunity back in 2018. Some of you might recognize some of these pictures. This was the property that used to be called El Sapo Dorado. It was one of the boutique hotels in Monteverde. Since Monteverde was one of the destinations that we incorporate into our programs, and Monteverde was staying short of lodging accommodations, unlike Arenal that really boomed. Basically, I bought the property from the bank. The Sapo Dorado had been closed for 10 years. We took a year to remodel it and basically opened a year before the pandemic. So Senda Monteverde, again, with changes in time, it's more of a boutique hotel. It's run by the Cayuga hospitality team. So that's another option now. But again, it's independent of Costa Rica Sun Tours, but something that I got involved with. And then just last year, just because we didn't have much to do with the pandemic, I took on a new project. And this was in the town of La Fortuna. My son ran a little bed and breakfast called La Fortuna Suites. It was just a 5-room little bed and breakfast. So we bought the property adjoining and build a 3-story building with 8 rooms. Again, it's still more for the millennium clientele, but beautiful rooms with air conditioning, overhead fans, and basically the new building, which is this one on the right-hand side there, all have porches and views up to the volcano. So basically, those are the hotels that I'm involved with.
Muchas gracias, John. I was wondering, we're aware that after 33 years in the industry, you have many partners around the world. I can see here companies from the US, Canada, Australia, and by the way, I think Gideon from Quiver Tree is included in this chat. So good thing we included his logo here. So can you tell us a little bit more about the companies that you work with?
Yeah. Basically, we're considered like a medium-sized company, and our primary market is in the United States. And we probably have 85 to 90% of our clients come from the US. But we have Quiver Tree in British Columbia. We have Quest Nature Tours in Toronto. We also have some clients in England and Australia and New Zealand. So we basically, will work with, specialized tour companies. Our general theme in the past was nature and adventure. Over the last 2 or 3 years, we're becoming a little bit more in tune with the boutique, high-end, clientele. So we work with a wide range of clients, from student groups to very boutique, high-end hotels. Of all the agencies that we have in the past, I'm especially grateful to a company that we still work with today after 33 years, which is Preferred Adventures. And the founder of Preferred Adventures was a lady called Karen Johnson. And she was our first client and a big supporter of Costa Rica Sun Tours. So we're very grateful for Preferred Adventures for the push that they gave us. Preferred Adventures was kind of unique because they were based in St. Paul, Minnesota. There was a Costa Rica, Minnesota Foundation. We did all kinds of interesting programs in the early years, like we did an election tour. We had Boy Scout groups coming. We had sister city relationships. And not only people coming from the States to Costa Rica, but Karen also promoted like Marfil, which is a local band. They went up and played in Minnesota. So there was a really good correspondence back and forth between, Preferred Adventures and Costa Rica Sun Tours. More than just a business relationship, we've developed a personal relationship with the majority of the clients that we work with. So it's a great support, and I think without the travel agent industry, we wouldn't be where we are.
Excelente, fantastico, John. Yes, thank you very much. I know that your company.
You've muted.
Okay, here we go. sorry about that. I know that you have been providing so many incredible experience for your travelers, so many happy travelers throughout the years. Can you tell us some of the stories of your favorite clients or guests?
It's hard to have a favorite client or guest. I think we're grateful for everyone, and I think when someone says treat these clients as like VIPs, we treat all our clients as VIPs, and because I think everybody within their own means is looking for a vacation, and what we want to do is make sure that vacation is an unforgettable experience. So it really is, we make sure that every client that comes to Costa Rica has an unforgettable experience. Rewards, or what makes it interesting to work in the industry, it's not money. I think all of us that are in the travel industry, if it was for money, we wouldn't be here, right? But I think it's more like those special situations that come up. So like one of them that came up just recently in June, a couple of months ago, there's a client called Roscoe Clayton, and he approached us, and he had booked through an agency 17 years ago. He'd booked his honeymoon trip when he was 28 years old, and he's approaching us again. We hadn't contacted him. We don't keep mailing lists. We're not marketing oriented. He contacted us after 17 years, and he's coming back next year in August with his daughter, which is 14 and 11 years old. So having someone that traveled with us, had such a good experience 17 years ago, and wanting to come back and show his family. And I think we have quite a few of those experiences. And the other things that kind of make it special is often when you can get involved with things that are not really money making, but you get people interacting with the communities. So we often work with local schools. That's usually easy to do, and we either get a group of a small group or students that come. We buy the paint, and we paint the mural or help them build a sidewalk. In particular, there's a high school that I've worked with that I really enjoy, and it's more because of the person, which is Matt Evans. He's one of the geography teachers there, and he brings the school group down every 2 years, and it's just a lot of fun working with them because they bring donations down. We usually coordinate soccer matches with local schools. In particular, with Kentucky Country Day School, one of the daughters of one of the tour leaders came down afterwards, and we arranged a couple of homestays, one in La Fortuna and one in Monteverde. And after her homestay experience in La Fortuna, they actually invited the daughter of the house that they were staying at to go up and visit them in the States for a month. So being able to create that connection, to give someone an opportunity to go live, well, for the girl from the States to come here and live with a Costa Rican family, but more, that experience was so good that they invited her to go up in the States. And something similar happened with a group from Norwegians as well, where one of our guides, Alex Arias, led the trip, and then he was invited to go to Normoord School in Norway for 2 weeks, and then that led for them to give a scholarship to Alex's daughter to go spend a year in Norway. So again, that kind of link or connection that you're able to make, really makes a difference. As far as personal, mostly I'm behind the scenes. Right at the beginning, I did get involved. I guided some mountain biking trips. When we used to go down to Tisquita, my brother's wife would prepare the meals. We'd fly the meals down in the plane and heat up the meals for clients down at Tisquita back 33 years ago. But in recent years, I joined one of the groups again from Norway, and we're doing a hike from Los Patos to Sirena, which is like a 17-kilometer hike in the rainforest. And with the group, we kind of took a break halfway along the hike, and we heard this growling in the rainforest, and it was a puma that had just captured a wild pig, and the pig was squealing. That was just excitement. The guy that was taking the pictures, his hands were trembling, just because we were probably within 50 meters of this puma. So those are things that kind of stand out, I guess.
Fantastico. Yes, I could only imagine what a thrill it has been. It was. I know that you and your company have received many awards and recognitions throughout the years, and that you have participated in as a board member in many nonprofit tourist organizations. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
John, sorry, just before you start, just to let you guys know that you have around 1 more minute to go, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Well, it's nice to end with an award, I guess, right? So, so just to finish up, I guess back in 2002, I received an ecotourism award for the work that I'd done in Punta Banco and Tisquita. And the reason this is relevant is because of the different projects that I got involved with at the time. We worked with a local Guayni community, which is an indigenous group. We helped got funds and build a bridge. I worked with Rotary International out of Atlanta, and we were able to build a clinic for the community. You know, so I think the culmination and a few other things along with that. So that led to the ecotourism award that I got in 2002. But basically, I think all of this would not have been possible without the support of our guides that are excellent and the staff that we have in our office. You know, I think I have great staff. You know, they've been with me for 25, 30 years, most of them. You know, so I'm appreciative for what all they do. Again, I'll close it off here. Thanks everybody for sticking it out and for hearing us, and hope that we can see you down this way soon.
Muchas gracias a todos. Yes, thank you so much for your time. And I don't know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ignacio. John, if anyone has any question, you can direct them directly to Ignacio or John, or directly to us, and then we can address it to them. So that's the end of our session of remote virtual experience in September. Thank you very much, Jennifer.